reminding me I do need to record. It's just, yes. Okay, so first we check for common factors. Yes, we do have a common factor. We can take out a 4 and an n from both of these. So let's go do that. So 4n, that leaves us with 3n minus m. Can we do anything else with this? No. Okay, so our answer here is 4n, 3n minus m. Okay. Find the value of r. So this means that we need to turn this number over here into 2 to the something. So let's start. 2r is a 16th. So first, let's go turn this number into something to the base 2. So 2 times 2, that gives us 4, times 2, that gives us 8, times 2 gives us 16. So we have 2 to the r, gives us 1 over 2 to the 4. Now we need to bring this number to the top. So that means it's going to become negative. So we have 2 to the minus 4 over there. So now, since we have the base the same, we need to make r the same. We need to make our exponents the same. So our r is then minus 4. Okay. So next up, we need to find the value of t over here. So here we've got this root. So in order to get the root, we know that we must divide by this number. So we have 3 to the t over here. That is a very terrible t. That'll do for now, I guess. And now over here, this, underneath this was 3 to the 1. So we need to divide, so we get 3 to the 1 over 5. So that implies that our t is a fifth. Okay. Without using a calculator, work out this value over here. So write down all the steps and give your answer as a mixed number in its simplest form. So mixed number means it looks like this, like 1 2/3. So we're going to leave it like that. So first, we need to get this number into something we can actually work with. So here we've got a mixed number. We need to make this into an improper fraction. So 1 times 3 gives us 3. And then we have 2, so that gives us that. And we have 5 over 7. So this is going to give us 5 over 3 and 5 over 7. We can't just add these because our denominator is not the same. So we need to times these in order to get them to be the same. So I'm going to times by 7 over 7 over here, which is 1. And I'm going to times here by 3 over 3. So that's going to give me 55 over 3 over 21 on this side. And here it's going to give me 15 over 21. So our answer is 50 over 21. But they want the answer as a mixed number in its simplest form. So we can take out some 21s over here. So if we take out 121, then we are going to be left with 50 minus 21 gives us 39. So we can take out another 21. So here we're going to have 2 and 8, 21s left over. So that is our answer. And that is the mixed number in its simplest form. We can't make this over here any simpler. So our answer is 2 and 8 over 21. There we go. Okay, question 8. Simon has 2 boxes of cards. In one box, each card has a shape drawn on it that is either a triangle or a square. In the other box, each card is colored either red or blue. So these are mutually exclusive events. The card can either have a triangle or it can have a square. There is no chance for it to have both. So that means a card is either a triangle or not a triangle, and it's either red or not red. Okay, so he picks a card from each box at random. The probability of picking a triangle is T. So our probability for a triangle is T, and our probability for a square will then be 1 minus T. Okay, and the probability of picking a red card is R. So red is R, so then blue is 1 minus R. Are you guys with me so far? So then we have this table. Complete the table for the cards that Simon picks, writing each probability in terms of R and T. So the trick here is if you have successive events, then you multiply the probabilities with each other. So if we have a triangle and a red card, then our probability will be T times R. Okay. If we have a square and a red card, then we multiply this 1 minus T, so the value for our square, with our red, so 1 minus T times R. A triangle and blue will be T times with our blue, which is 1 minus R. And here we have our square and blue, so this will be 1 minus T times with 1 minus R. Okay. Does this make sense, guys? I hope so. Okay. Question 9 says H is directly proportional to the square root of P. So that directly proportional means we have H equals some value over here, let's make that A, times the square root of P. That is direct proportionality. If we go draw it, then we'll have the root of P on one end and the H over here, and that over there are the slope of that line is our A over there. That is direct proportionality. So H is 5.4 when P is 1.44. So we can go work out what A is using this values over here. It wants to know what the value of H is when P is 2.89. So we first need to go work out our A value over here. So H is A times root of P, and H is 5.4 when P is 1.44. So we have A root 1.44. Okay. I will get to the question of number 7 right after I finish this number 9. Okay. So here we need to simplify this. So our root of 1.44 is 1.2. So we have 1.2a on this side and 5.4 on this side. So we go divide them out, and then we get 4.5 is our a value. So now we have our formula. So we have 4.5 root p. So the slope of our line here is 4.5. So now we need to go find h when p is 2.89. So h is 4.5 root 2.89 over there. So we can go put this in our calculators to work it out. So we have 4.5 times with over here 1.7, which gives us 7.65. So our h value is 7.65. Okay, hope this one makes sense. So going back to number 7. Okay, question asks, should you indicate what you multiply the original fractions with in order to get the same denominator? I like indicating what I am multiplying them with. You can put these in brackets. You don't necessarily have to, as long as the answer is correct, but this way I know I have less room for error, because I'm making sure that here I'm multiplying the 3 with a 7, here I'm multiplying the 7 with a 3. It helps me keep them straight in my head. And if you are in exam conditions where you are already stressed, taking the time to maybe do this extra step, writing them in, is often what makes or breaks the question. So it is very easy to make mistakes if you're trying to do everything in your head. If you write down your steps, write down what you are multiplying with at each point, then it helps a lot to keep that stress levels down and to keep your accuracy very high so that you get your marks. I hope that helps. Okay, question 10. So it says, by shading the unwanted regions of the grid, find and label the region R that satisfies these inequalities. So we have y less than equal to 2, y greater than equal 1, this and this. Okay. So let's do this. So if y needs to be less than 2, that means we go look at our y's. Here is our 2. So we want it to be less than 2, but we want to shade the unwanted regions. So we are going to, that obviously doesn't work. Shade the unwanted regions. So that would be everything above this line as unwanted. So we're going to shade all of this area. Okay, it doesn't have to be neat or pretty. So y needs to be greater than 1. So the part we want is everything above this line. So our unwanted region is everything below. So we're going to shade all of this over here. So there we go. Okay. Next, we have this equation here. This is a straight line with our slope 2 and our y-intercept -1. So that would be this line over here. Okay. And we want it to be less than this line. So that would be below the line. So that's everything on this side that we want. So our unwanted region is everything on this side. So that part we still have to shade. So this one is our remaining line over there. So our y-intercept is 5, and we have a -1 slope. And we want it to be everything below this line, so less than, so that's everything this side. So our unwanted region is everything this side, so we're going to shade that. So this looks remarkably terrible, but this over here is our region R. Okay. So there we go. Okay, the two barrels in the diagram are mathematically similar. Okay. The smaller barrel has a height of h and a capacity of 100 liters. Okay, question from number 10. Do we label it in pen? They said find and label. So yes, we do go label it in pen, and you do have to go shade it in some kind of way that they are sure that you are shading the correct part. Okay. So back to here. So we have centimeters and liters, okay? This is volume, and this is length. So this is to do with that length, area volume comparisons, or length area volume ratios. So if we have length to volume, right, then our length ratio and our volume ratio means we are going to have to either take our length cubed to get to volume, or we are going to take our length the same and cube root our volume. Okay. The reason for this is here we are comparing centimeters, and here we are comparing centimeter cubed, essentially, for this. So that is the reason why we need to either cube something or cube root something. So let's go write out our two ratios. So this is our length ratio over here. We have h to 90. So this is our length. Okay. and this is our volume ratio over here, we have 100 to 160. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get each of these to 1. So here we're going to have h over 90 to 1 so that we can go compare these. Right. And here we have 100 over 160 to 1. We still can't compare these because this is volume and this is length. So we need to go take the cube root of each of these sides. Cube root of 1 is still 1. So we take the cube root and now we can compare these. So now, since we've got both to 1, we can go equate these. So h over 90 must then be the same as the cube root of 100 over 160. Okay. So our h is then going to be 90 times this whole cube root. So we go put this in our calculators, and then we get to 76.948 something centimeters. Okay. On the first page of this whole test, so over here, it will tell us what to give the answer to. They say here, if the answer is not exact, give the answer to 3 significant figures. Okay. Give answers in degrees to 1 decimal place. Okay. We're not using degrees here. So we want it to 3 significant figures. So we're going to cut it off there. So our height is 76.9 centimeters. Okay. Okay, I have 2 minutes left. So I can either go on to question 12 and we may be kicked out during it. Or if you guys have a question about the questions up to now, I can also do that. I'm going to move on to question 12 for now. Okay, so a line has a gradient of 5. So we're dealing with a line, so we've got our line formula. M and N are 2 points on the line. We've got their values, sort of. Find an expression for x in terms of k. Okay, so first, let's go write out our formula for the line. So we have our y equals 5x plus c. That's our line formula. Now we have these 2 points. So let's go to m, and we've got n. So for m, our y value is 8, and our x value is x. So 5x plus c. For n, we have our y value is 23, and our x value is k. Okay. We want to get something along this lines that we can go substitute into here. So we want to get the c. So we're going to take this over to that side. So we have 23 minus 5k is our c. Now we can substitute it in here. 8 equals 5x plus this value, which is 23 minus 5k. Okay. So now we want to get our x's in terms of k's. So we want to get all of our x's on one side and all of the rest on the other side. So I'm going to take this over to this side, and I'm going to take my 8 over to this side. So we're going to have minus 5x equals, our 8 goes over, so we have minus 8 plus 23 minus 5k. Okay. So this over here gives me 15 minus 5k, and that is minus 5x. We want to get rid of this negative first, so let's do that. So that would be 5x minus 15 plus 5k. Then we can go divide by 5 all throughout. So we get x is minus 3 plus k. So we can write minus 3 plus k. We can also write k minus 3. They will both be accepted. Okay. Yes, you can write first the n calculation and then beneath it the m calculation. If I get 2 points, I tend to do them side by side because I am never quite sure which one I'm going to be substituting into which one. Always substitute the one that is the easiest. So you could very easily write the n calculation, below it the m calculation. They would have worked out perfectly equally. You could have also gotten the c from here, having c equal to 8 minus 5x, and then substituting it in here, and afterwards simplifying it to get the x's and the k's, and you would have gotten the same answer.